Hello, this is Dr. Do again. This video is outside of medicine. Continue the book of Ecclesiastes. I start from, I think it's the first video of this book. I just finished the book of Proverbs and with a short summary. So move on to the Ecclesiastes. I'm going to read first. Everything is meaningless. Chapter 1. The words of the teacher, son of David, king in Jerusalem. Meaningless, meaningless, says the teacher, utterly meaningless. Everything is meaningless. What does man gain from all his labor at which he toils under the sun? Generations come and generations go, but the earth remains forever. The sun rises and the sun sets, and hurries back to where it rises. The wind blows to the south and turns to the north. Round and round it goes, ever returning on its course. All streams flow into the sea, yet the sea is never full. To the place the streams come from, there they return again. All things are wearisome, more than one can say. The eye never has enough of seeing, nor the ear its fill of hearing. What has been will be again. What has been done will be done again. There is nothing new under the sun. Is there anything of which one can say, look, this is something new? It was here already, long ago. It was here before our time. There is no remembrance of men of old, and even those who are yet to come will not be remembered by those who follow. Wisdom is meaningless. I, the teacher, was king over Israel in Jerusalem. I devoted myself to study and to explore by wisdom all that is done under heaven, what a heaven burden God has laid on man. I have seen all the things that are done under the sun. All of them are meaningless, or chasing after the wind. What is twisted cannot be straightened. What is lacking cannot be counted. I thought to myself, look, I have grown and increased in wisdom more than anyone who has ruled over Jerusalem before me. I have experienced much wisdom and knowledge. Then I applied myself to the understanding of wisdom and also of madness and folly, but I learned that this too is chasing after the wind. For with much wisdom comes much sorrow. The more knowledge, the more grief. So this is chapter 1. I'm going to finish chapter 1. So this is the saying, everything's meaningless. This is the words of teacher, son of David, king in Jerusalem. So we know it's Solomon. And then start from there, it's quoted. Meaningless, meaningless, says the teacher, utterly meaningless. Everything is meaningless. Saying everything in the world is meaningless. What does man gain from all his labor at which he toils under the sun? Generations come, generations go, but the earth remains forever. So this is saying the world, the living of the human being on the earth really work hard, torment, and also generation comes, generation goes, but the earth remains forever. The everlasting is the earth, the nature. The sun rises and the sun sets, and hurries back to where it is, where it rises. So this is, I think this implies from the sun rises and sets, we know from east to the west, and hurries back to where it rises. I think this is referring to the people, comings and goes and back to the original, to the soil, to the ground. Maybe the wind blows to the south and turns to the north. Round and round it goes, ever returning to its course. So this is saying the wind also from the south to the north, but always chasing the same circle as its course. All streams flow into the sea, yet the sea is never full. To the place the streams come from, there they return again. So this is saying the stream, the water, the river goes to the sea, but the sea is never filled. To the place the streams come from, there they return again. So this is saying the cycle, the circle is never going to be ceased And also the sea is just is too deep to fall, never fall. It probably referring imply the human heart, even though all the craving or the desire of humans, the similar as the sea, never going to, even though all the rivers flow to it, but still never going to be full. All things are wearisome, more than one can say. The eye never has enough of seeing, nor the ear its fill of hearing. So this is just the eyes never has enough of seeing. I think this is probably referring to this desires of human, like parables to that. Or the reality, probably it is. What has been will be again. What has been done will be done again. There's nothing new under the sun. So this is saying that really the history repeating itself, probably. Nothing is new. Do not think, and also imply for each of us doing something great. Do not think greatest is you, because it probably has been done somewhere, even though you never was not heard, or it's not reported, but still somewhere probably. Is there anything of which we can say, look, this is something new? It was here already long ago. It was here before our time. So this is the wisdom, really seeing deep, beyond the time. That probably is really nothing new. There is no remembrance of men of old, or even those who are yet to come will not be remembered by those who follow. So this saying nothing is everlasting. Nobody will remember after the time passed, like the sun going to the original. Wisdom is meaningless. This is the title. I, the teacher, was king over Israel in Jerusalem. I devoted myself to study, to explore by wisdom all that is done under heaven. So this saying, I was called the wise man with much of wisdom. What a heavy burden God has laid on man. I have seen all the things that are done under the sun. All of them are meaningless, are chasing after the wind. So this saying, regardless how much you carry, how much you have achieved, eventually is meaningless. What is twisted cannot be straightened. What is lacking cannot be counted. This is saying that the course, I think this is the preternature or the superpower from the God. If the God twisted something, cannot be straightened. Or if the God decided something is lacking, then cannot be counted. I thought to myself, look, I have grown and increased in wisdom more than anyone who has ruled over Jerusalem before me. So this is saying that he is the wisest man in the land. I have experienced much of wisdom and knowledge. That is saying that he is one of the most erudite person in the land. Then I apply myself to the understanding of wisdom and also of madness and folly. But I learned that this too is chasing after the wind. So still I claimed myself the wisest man in the land, and also the erudite man with a lot of knowledge. But still I think it's meaningless, chasing the wind. For with much wisdom comes much sorrow. The more knowledge, the more grief. This saying that if you have wisdom and knowledge too deep, you probably just bring the sorrow and also the burden, the grief, because you see the wisdom comes, you see too much, not just the sunlight, also the darkness. That darkness really in the heart, and then you see much grief and sorrow. So I'm going to stop here and hope that you can read, interpret in your own way. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.